Hi everyone, Chris Natzke here with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching with your Mind of a Champion tip of the week. You know, one of my favorite books that I read or listened to in 2020 was a book called Make Your Bed by retired four-star Admiral William H. McRaven. And for those of you who don't know much about Admiral McRaven, he was one of the top Navy officers, and in fact, he retired in 2014 as the top Navy SEAL, which made him the bullfrog after a 37-year distinguished career. And he actually led the missions that felled both Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden. So a real American patriot. But what I knew him from is when I watched his YouTube video and then read his book called Make Your Bed. And in this video, it was a commencement speech that he gave to students at University of Texas. And he basically, the premise of what he said was, if you want to change the world, make your bed. So what does he mean by that? Well, what he meant by that is start each day off by doing something positive. Start each day off by doing something productive. And then those positive habits, that positive action builds to the next positive action, and then to the next and to the next. And I just thought that that was just so brilliant, so simple and so brilliant. And what I've known and come to learn in my life is that those simple habits that we do, they create positive and productive days, which then turn into positive and productive weeks. And those weeks turn into positive and productive months, which turn into positive and productive years, which turn into positive and productive lifetimes. So I wish I could say that all we needed to do was make our bed every day and everything would be fine, but that's not the case. So what I want to share with you today are 6 strategies or practices that I've been doing for several years now that have really helped me start my days off in a really powerful and masterful way. And I call them the 6 M's of morning mastery. The 6 M's of morning mastery. And I've been doing this practice probably for about 7 or 8 years, and I want to share them with you now. And so the first M is starting each day with some form of meditation. And what that means is getting quiet, letting our apple juice settle, so to speak. And so whether that's quiet walks, whether that's sipping coffee, looking out over, onto a beautiful scene, or actually sitting down in a chair or a pillow and meditating, but spending some time each day to let our mind settle and be open to new ideas, new thoughts, new concepts to come into our mind. So that's number 1. The first M is meditation. Number 2 is what I call mind treatment. Mind treatment. So what that means is putting positive affirmations within our thought process. I mean, it's so easy now with all the negative stuff that we have going on and the worries that we have in our lifetime to get caught up in that. But taking this time after you've let your mind quiet to begin doing positive affirmations or mind treatment to make sure that you're putting in the positive aspects that you want to use as fuel for the rest of the day. Number 3 is mental imaging. Mental imaging. It's so interesting that if you take a look at top performing athletes and you looked at what they can do athletically, there's a very, very minute difference, if any, in terms of their physical skills. In fact, like someone who wins the 100-meter yard dash in the Olympics, it's probably a hundredth of a second that he or she wins that race by. But it's oftentimes their ability to mentally project what they want to create and their ability to manage their mental state that keeps them at the top of their game. Years ago, I had a teacher say, Chris, if you're going to fantasize, you might as well win. But how many times in our lives do we fantasize about the negative things, the things we don't want to have happen? So this mental imaging, again, inputs that, ingrains that into us of what we want to create each day. Number 4 is movement. Now note I didn't say exercise. A lot of times if I say exercise to people, what will happen is they put up the shade and they're a little bit uncomfortable with that. But think about this. Our bodies were designed to move. They were designed to move. And whether that's heavy exercise or if it's simply going out for a walk or doing yoga stretching or calisthenics, moving our bodies each and every day is so vitally important. I don't know if you know about this, but there are areas in the world called blue zones. And these are specific areas where people live routinely into their 90s and their 100s. Now, there's a lot of factors to that. They have wonderful diets, and they also keep very active in a profession, so they have a purpose in their life. But what they do each and every day is they move. And certainly in our society, that's not what we always do. So what are some ways that you can move each and every day? Number five is motivation. Now, that could be in books, it could be in tapes, it could be in YouTube videos, whatever, but getting something input into your consciousness that's going to motivate and inspire you for the rest of the day from someone that you respect, maybe an author, maybe a speaker, maybe a minister, whatever that is, to make sure that you're anchoring in those positive thoughts. And then finally is memoirs. And what do I mean by memoirs? I mean actually taking some time to journal and scribe your thoughts. I mean, when I do this process, sometimes I'm amazed at the things that come through, particularly if I've been dealing with something that I've been struggling with, but now I've quieted my mind and I've input the positive aspects, and then I start writing, and oftentimes what will happen is the answers just come present for me. So there you have it, my friends. There are my 6 M's of morning mastery. Time for you to start off each and every day at your very, very best. And what I'd recommend is there are 6 of them that I shared with you. If you think that's too many, start with 1 or 2 practices and build from there. And some of you may be already doing these, but I'll tell you what, start now. And if you don't do any of these, at least start making your bed. So this has been Chris Natzke with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching. Oh, and by the way, I have a special event that I'm participating in that you can as well. It's going to be on February 25th. It's called the Science of Success series. I'm going to be joining with 3 other amazing speakers. We're going to talk about bringing vision and prosperity and dynamic leadership into our lives. So I'm going to be leaving a link in the comment section below, but I'd love to have you join us. It's going to be 2 hours out of your day, but I know it's going to be well worth your while. So anyway, once again, this is Chris Natzke with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching, and we'll see you next time on the Mind of a Champion Tip of the Week.